Welcome, dear guests and fellow old members. How many old members are here? One here, two here.
You mean ex-members?
Experience
Sorry, all experience, former, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we got a lot. Oh, yes. So, just a few words about this contest and that guy. Where is that guy? You mean that if this president can talk, I can also talk.
No, you made it very good that I wanted to talk to.
Really? It was not understood like that. Okay, so you see I'm a role model. Anyway, but I want, you remember we got the contest winner. I mean, our club has sent Mr. Ankur. I think you don't know him. And we got the first place in the national contest. So that's your target. Okay. Okay. So let's forget the contest. I congratulate both speakers and wish many achievements on behalf of our club. After that, let's talk about our club, why we are here, because this is a 300 meeting. 300 meeting means our club has a 12-year history. It was founded in 2007, in May, I guess. So we have a 12 years background. And I counted, and I got the report here, we had about 378 members till now. Our club is the second club in Turkey. The first one was in Ankara. They are still active, Ankara Toastmasters, and ours is the second one. And for the ones that was not present here, maybe for 3 years, we had so many members in our club, and that's why we separated our club, and we have our sister club. And they're also an English Toastmasters club, and they are also meeting, they also meet in this hotel as well. And we got friends from that club as well. So, I don't want to talk so much because I don't know when this club is founded, how was the old days. We have our guests here. And according to my report here that I got from the internet, in 2007 there were 22 Toastmasters which founded this club. And here with us, with your applause, we have 2 of them. The first one is Mrs. Jennifer Gökmen, right? Jennifer, thanks for coming.
My voice isn't holding out too much today, so I don't know how much I'll be able to say.
No problem. So maybe our members and also I would like to hear how this club is founded. What were the experiences of yours? I mean, interesting experiences, different, some humorous ones, anything. Maybe you'd like to say some words?
Well, the people who are here already know that public speaking is a little bit of an adrenaline sport. When you get up on stage and you start speaking, it's a very exciting experience. When I was in high school, speech and debate was my sport. And when Matt and I came together and started discussing the sort of things, it was his idea originally to start the club. And a few of us together, we just looked for a place and we started getting people together and we started spreading the word. Eventually it became very popular. You can see, as it is 12 years later, a room full of addicts who can't stop getting up and speaking.
Yeah, that is.
I think that's fantastic. Unfortunately, I haven't continued. My life took a lot of different turns after that, and living here, I have to say, has been such an incredible experience that it's really hard to dedicate to just one thing when there's so many things available. But definitely I'm glad to see that so many people have committed to keeping this group going and growing it and producing such fantastic speakers. I'm very proud of that.
Matt told me that, we talked on the phone, I mean, I also invited Matt. Matt is our first president. Also, he was the mentor of this club for many years. Unfortunately, he didn't come and sent his greetings to all of us. And he mentioned to us about the meetings. He said that there were maybe sometimes 4 or 5 people, and we were meeting in a small room, so there were some difficulties at the beginning.
Yeah. Getting anything going, it takes a while to get the energy behind it and the routines going, and for everybody having to learn all the rules, having to learn the procedures, getting the procedures right, and then new people coming in and then trying to get them on board with what all the rules are. It's an organism, and it goes through different phases, and that was took a lot of effort, but it was really exciting.
May I call one of your friends from that
Yes.
club, that year? Okay. Mr. Aytu Sözüyer, with your applause, please. Aytu, maybe you can also share some experiences with us?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. President. My membership expired 10 years ago. But I was honored to be invited personally for this 300th meeting. Well, I was one of the co-founders of the club who made this a formal association. Thankfully, Deniz handled all the paperwork and bureaucratic matters with Ankara. And at that time, I didn't really care about becoming official, but she insisted, and because apparently she loves institutions, and she has managed tons of them and still counting probably. Well, I remember when we received our first batch of books, guidebooks and materials, we were so excited like school kids. And I still keep my Best Speaker of the Evening awards, those blue ribbons. Well, who would not keep them? You don't keep them? I still keep them at home. It was so cute and so useful, actually. I like them very much. In the beginning, yeah, we were having issues with finding enough attendees, participants, to organize, to maintain the meetings, because we were so few, and in every meeting we had some roles, if not 2. So we always had to participate and put some efforts to make the meeting. And now it's incredible that I've learned that there are at least 5 Toastmasters Club in Istanbul, and maybe 11 all over Turkey. That's an amazing number. The demand has increased a lot. I'm very happy to see that. And one more thing is about the rules and procedures that the guidebooks and some of the fellow Toastmasters who had a little bit experience before our club, it was so frustrating because the mechanics, actually we had to make ourselves learn about the mechanics, about the rules and procedures of the meeting, of the Toastmasters principles. And yes, it was frustrating because, especially the timing rules, come on, this is Turkey, okay? Even the corporate meetings are flexible, but we have 1 minute, 3 minutes, everything was about timing. It was so interesting, but it created a nice team activity spirit though. It disciplined us and it was they were very useful. And for one night that I was a Toastmaster of the evening, and I wanted to demonstrate the power of the rules, and I showed the magic of applause, magic of applause. And today I want to do it again. Would you help me with this, please? Okay. So I will just welcome Mr. President to stage. But please be quiet, okay? Don't do any applause. Okay? Don't do anything. Just keep silence. Please welcome Mr. President. Okay, the stage is yours. So I'll repeat this, okay? And this time, please give a good hand of applause, okay? Let's see the difference. Please welcome Mr. President. Yeah, I'm finished. I got the
Maybe you can
okay.
stand there for
Sure. Sorry.
Trying to get us off the stage.
And later, in 2007, I guess, we had a president here, and she's with us. With your applause, it's Enes Can.
Thank you very much. I brought you something I thought you would like to see. Because at that time, even Toastmasters were different. Look at the founder's certificate of this club. Even the logo of Toastmasters is different. A lot of things were very different, and it was so hard to learn about it. Nobody knew. We were all alone. So it's very nice that seeing good old friends here with me. I feel like we are back on those days. And looking back to the other members here, room full. It was really like when we come to stage, there were not many people to really clap. So it was a good demonstration. It felt very from all those good old times. And this is another certificate, which is when you found the club now. It's less than 6 months old. The Ankara Kolejler Toastmasters, which I am president this year. And as Seçkin said, I was president after Matt as second president of this club 10 years ago. So every 10 years I become president. At those times, really the meetings were something we looked forward because the group was so diverse, so interesting. We had nearly like 50-50 foreigners and Turkish people. We were very few. I mean, right now, this club has a lot of foreigners as well, but the club is so big, so you don't feel it that way. But at that time, nearly half was foreigners from different countries, and the other half was Turkish people, which we were really interacting so nicely. Each meeting, each speech was so interesting that we were not having that kind of an environment in any other place. Right now, after those many years, Istanbul is more global, everything is easier to reach. Internet and Skype and Zoom is in our service, so we can even join the meetings of other Toastmasters clubs online. So we came so far, far away, but you made it possible. Because if this wouldn't work, if we would just struggle after a couple of months, then we would not be here after 12 years. And believe me, that also happened. In Turkey, there was many clubs founded, but they are not alive. It's very interesting. When I was looking for these certificates, in the back of them I also put other certificates that founding members of other clubs. One of them is founded in 2017, and the certificate doesn't have the name of the clubs, it just has the number of the clubs. And September 2017 certificate, I have it here. The number doesn't resemble anything. I looked in the internet of Toastmasters in Turkey. The club is not there. I even don't remember which club was that. It's 2017. It's been just 1.5 years ago. A club founded, started, run for a while, and I even don't remember the name, and they are not here. So this is really success, that this club worked out, continued every other week, and developed great speakers, even won competitions, and graduated some certifications like CCs from this club. And we are here to celebrate 300. I am so happy. I thank each and every one of you for contributing in this. And I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
club has a lot of achievements. Let me name some of them. Membership building programs. Cemently Award in 2014, 2012, 2007. Istanbul Toastmasters Award. 2010, I mean, it's 6 times. And after that, Beat the Clock Award. These are all about the quantities, I mean, not the quality, but an achievement. So it's about for 5 times. And for the Distinguished Club program, this club has achieved President's Distinguished Club 2 times, Select Distinguished Club 2 times, and Distinguished Club again 2 times. So these are the quality achievements. And these qualities, also, of course, achieved with the boards of the clubs and presidents of the clubs. And after Dennis, we have another former president from 2015, or maybe, sorry, 14. Ms. Tuba Ereman is with us.
Dear fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, God, how much I missed saying this. It was 2012, the first time I said these words. Dear Toastmasters and dear guests. Well, it was the year I became a member, I became a Toastmaster. Still to this day, I still remember very vividly my very first speech on this stage, my icebreaker speech, and it started with these words. Dear fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, since this is an icebreaker speech, I would like to tell you about how my ice was formed. And then it continued like this. Well, actually, it would be unfair to call it ice, just ice, because I have an iceberg. Well, true story, it was true. I had this huge fear of public speaking. I did not have ice to break. I had an iceberg. Well, many years passed, many things happened on this stage, in this club. Many speeches. I served as VP membership first as a member, and then I served as VP membership, and then I served as the president of the club, which is always an honor for me. And speech by speech, role by role, I witnessed and I experienced that famous huge iceberg turned into little, small, cute ice cubes. Speaking of ice cubes, I'll be honest, I still do have them. When there is a very, very, very important occasion for me, I still get nervous, I still get very excited. But I always remember one thing, which this club taught me very well. I remember that feeling fear is okay. Getting nervous is okay. Because feeling feelings is okay. Because it's okay to be human. This club also taught me many more things, and the things which I could never ever learn from any public speaking school or any public speaking book. This is the club where I learned that when it comes to public speaking, there's not just one right thing and all the other things are wrong. It's totally okay to cross your arms on the stage or to stand still on the stage if your content is engaging enough, if your stories are powerful enough. And this is the club where I learned that your stories can speak louder than any kind of story or fairy tale that you can find on Google. So when I think of this club, the dominant feeling I feel is gratitude. I feel beyond grateful that my words can convey. And the club served me a lot, and I hope I could serve the club as well. Thank you. And another thing which I remember, another feeling which I remember when I think of the club, it's fun. I always had so much fun. I remember the contests, I remember the table topics, the dreadful table topic sessions, many more things, the drinks after the meetings. So it was so much fun. I had a lot of fun in the journey. I enjoyed my journey, I enjoyed my ride. which would be the last words I would like to leave with every one of you here. So enjoy your journey, enjoy your ride.
Actually, she was the contest host. May I
Yes.
say
Yes.
host, contest host 2 years ago in the national contest. So I think no icebreaker.
Still little cubes.
Still.
Still.
I think last year as well.
Yeah, everybody. And finally, let's invite our former president from last year, Mr. Rasi Benson. I also worked as a board member, vice president education.
That's right.
Within your presidency.
Yes.
So I owe you so much.
I owe you so much.
No.
I owe you.
So maybe you can just say a few words about your experience in
Yes.
Toastmasters.
Yes. First of all, how did I get involved and how did I start Toastmasters? It was in 2014, I believe, when Tuba was the president. They came one time to an Internations Curious Souls event. It was watching and then discussing TED Talks videos. And she was a moderator, and there were 2 other people from Toastmasters. And I was wondering, well, what is this with this Toastmasters? I got really curious, and I decided to come to several meetings and really enjoyed it. And said, okay, this is a place for me. I would like to become a member. And then I met some people in a networking event, and they said there's also a Turkish Toastmasters. So I went to Türkçe Anadolu Toastmasters one time, many years ago, and they made me a grammarian. This is the first time I'm going to Turkish Toastmasters. They made me a grammarian. I don't even know what grammarian. Oh, I said, do I have to talk about grammar? No, you don't have to talk about grammar. Then they told me what grammarian is. So I made, as a guest, I got my first role as grammarian in Turkish Toastmasters. Then I decided to become a member of Istanbul Toastmasters. Did my icebreaker speech, was very nervous at that time. Invited lots of friends as guests, and I said, this is the environment where we can improve not only our public speaking skills, but also our friendship, networking, and listening skills as well. There's a leadership program too, and I enjoyed it. So, started bringing in a lot of guests. Many of them became members, both to Turkish Toastmasters and to Istanbul Toastmasters. Then, as our dear President mentioned, we split into 2, Bosphorus Toastmasters and Istanbul Toastmasters, because we grew too much. But, of course, our hearts were still together, and we still go to each other's meetings. So for you guests who are wondering what we are doing here, is this place for me? If you want to be part of a family where we support each other, and you want to improve your public speaking skills to use not only in your profession but in your social life, and don't even see it just as public speaking skills, but communication skills in any environment. Even in normal conversations, you can use the communication skills that you get here. Many of the things that we develop, for example, eye contact, voice variety, body language, eliminating the silence fillers like these are necessary not only in public speaking, but it will make a difference in a job interview. It will make a very big difference if you say in a job interview or you don't. Making eye contact, using your voice, or on a date, even there, it is useful. You can use it in many places. So I am very happy to be here. And now, as you know, we have recently changed the system, Pathways, which is very exciting. And it's the next level. It's even a more developed and sophisticated training program.
Well, when are you coming?
When you accept me. All right.
He's still not registered to Pathways.
But
He's trying to push.
First, I have to finish finished the professional speaker advanced program because I purchased those.
I'm joking.
I'm still doing those. Yes, and the important thing is not to limit what you learn here in Toastmasters, because actually we're learning, whatever we learn here, we learn to use it outside in our professional life and in our social life. So if you stick with this club for many years, not only will you develop yourself, but because you will become a competent communicator, you will be much more useful for the society as a whole. Thank you.
Dear friends, I like to invite all of you, but since this place is not so big, maybe we can just cut with former members and the presence, with your permission. So, where's the music? Music? Oluyor mu?
Seçkin de gelsin o tarafa.
Ladies.
Many more years to come.
10 years.
Are you making a wish?
Yes, like 100,000 meetings.
Of the meeting, 100,000. Good, 1, 2, 3. Go! So it's time to go break now, since the pie, our cake will be cut in a minute, so let's have a break for